Hey everybody, it's Christine. Happy National Scrapbooking Day. Today I am up with Simple Stories and I am using their new Summer Farmhouse collection, using a lot of the pattern papers from the 6x8 paper pad. One of the things that I was inspired by lately is that I've seen a lot of people using the starburst, sunburst, whatever you want to call it, style in their layouts again. And so I wanted to do that. So I decided I would use the 6x8 paper pads and begin with a smaller scale pattern, but be able to work in a whole lot of patterns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 6x8 sheets and I'm going to cut them down to 3x7. And then from there, the 3x7, I'm going to cut them into triangles. So I'm going to go from one corner to the other diagonal corner to make triangles. And these will be able to go all the way around to create a sunburst. Now my sunburst is going to go into a circular shape. If you were doing a full 12x12 layout, the 3x7 shape wouldn't work. You'd need to stretch it up some. But for a 10-inch circle, it does work. And that's just the kind of thing you have to play around with your scraps and measure and figure out which size works. But it's an easy way to make a sunburst a little bit easier by just taking a rectangle and slicing it to make it into a triangle. So I've taken a 10-inch circle. You can see I folded it so I could get my center point, and I'm going to go ahead and put all of my patterned papers on. One trick with this that I like to do is I like to have a busy pattern next to a calmer pattern. So a more monochromatic, simpler look next to the ones that have a whole bunch of color to them. And you'll see me work that in throughout. I was careful about picking out papers that I could do that. And then you'll see that my paper is also a little bit longer than my circle. So I'm going to just trim up those edges as I go. Obviously not a real tricky part of it. I just used a scratch paper that, or not a scratch paper, but a piece of cardstock that was something that was a color I had a lot of, or I wasn't necessarily going to use, and cut the circle from that. I did try and keep the color kind of neutral because you will possibly see a little bit of it come through. And the reason you will see a little bit of it come through is you can see how I am pulling up the edges on one side of my triangles. And I'm doing that just to add some dimension and interest, but that does make it possible that a teeny bit of the background may show through. So this off-white grayish color is a good neutral one to have as my base. Now, all in, this is going to take about 16 triangles to fit all the way around it. I will use everything twice. So really it took 8 sheets of paper, and since I'm using the 6x8 paper, I didn't have to cut into my 12x12 and waste quite as much that way. The 6x8 was really an ideal size for working with this. I love the colors in this collection. Very summery, but not your typical bright jewel-toned colors, but your very traditional primary colors. Just a gorgeous collection. Lots of summer icons and all that stuff to fit in with it. I was excited. I just got a box from them with a bunch of new stuff, and I was excited the most to try out this collection. So perfect to try out for National Scrapbooking Day layout. Now, you do want to be sure to head over to Instagram because Simple Stories is having a huge Instagram giveaway, and this layout is on there, as well as layouts from most of the design teams. So you can check those all out and get entered in on the giveaway as well. Of course, pretty much every company is having a giveaway this weekend, so be sure to check in on all your favorite scrapbooking companies. But this one specifically is for Simple Stories. So I am going to adhere my circle onto this wood grain background, which is another gorgeous piece from this collection. Perfect base for a layout, just perfect. And I'm going to just center it right on there. And then I will begin to build the rest of my layout. Now, as you can imagine, I've got a lot going on here already. So I don't need to go too crazy with what I'm doing here. As I was creating this, I really had in my head that I wanted a curved banner to go across it. So I cut that out in white, and then I'm going to use 4 pictures. These pictures I printed out so that they are 2 by 3 in size. So nice and small, and they will fit across my layout really well. I did mat those in white so that they will pop off of those patterns a little bit more instead of getting lost within them. And I'm going to pop up my banner with some 3D foam adhesive from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L, and then I'm going to also pop up those pictures. A lot of popping up, and the main reason for that is because I have added dimension to my sunburst with the pulling up of the edges. I need everything to pop up because nothing's going to lay flat. And also, of course, it just looks cool when you pop things up. But as I was saying, things are less complicated on this layout simply because I've got a lot going on already. So my embellishing is really going to be minimal. My title is going to be minimal, all that stuff. So after I get these pictures on here, I'm going to create my title. Now, I do that off screen because I just didn't really know exactly which direction I was going to go. What I do want you to know is that I used the Color Vibe foam alphabet as well as the Color Vibe alphabet letters sticker book to create my title. And that allowed me to use 2 colors, create a title that would curve with my banner, and have a unique title with something that fit with the picture. So what I ended up doing for my title was love times 4. And so the times is in that red flat sticker, but the love and 4 are in that tall foam letter stickers. Now, my final step is going to be to add in just a minimal amount of embellishing. I am going to add in some yellow and white hearts, some smaller ones, and then some teeny tiny white hearts. Both of these I either punched out or used my metal die cuts to cut out. And then I'm going to also add on some enamel dots, and then I will call it good because I do not want to go overboard on this. Had a lot of ideas, explored a lot of things, and in the end, the most simple thing to do and the most eye-pleasing thing to do was to just have some bold hearts on there that didn't overwhelm or hide the cool patterns that I already have going on. So as I said, be sure to head on over to Instagram. I will link you up to my channel down below. Head on over there so you can get in on the awesome giveaways from Simple Stories this weekend. And be sure to keep an eye out on my channel here. I've got a lot coming up in the next week, including a whole video series on boys. And there you have it. Have a happy National Scrapbooking Day. Let me know in the comments down below what you're doing this weekend to have fun with it. Hopefully you're getting a little bit of time at least to scrapbook. And we will see you again next time.